Oh man, I gotta go all the way around? It's like 90% of this game. Today, I make a video that challenges all the values of my past, my anxiety, and my preconceived notions. This video represents all the things I understand now as an adult, and all the things I need to push forward. When I was younger, I didn't understand things like anxiety, mental health, and how to ration things and my time and my spirit more effectively. Through these little game battles, I want to prove to myself all the preconceived notions I had before and the values that I have now, and test them and challenge them. Come, join me, my friends, in Battle of the Backlog. Where am I? Why am I here? And what is my goal? I like to ask myself these questions to get more immersed in the role that I'm playing in. This isn't me talking about Metroid as a classic, its influence in the 80s original, and the sequence-breaking freedom of exploration, which at the time most games were linear experiences. I could see why, looking back, when Nintendo stood the test of time as it did. Because of this great legacy is why it stayed on my backlog for so many years. It's because of my anxiety and the way that my brain is programmed. So now that I've grown as a person, I'm ready to tackle this, not me pretending to be some now big tough guy who now has some experiences under his belt with his anxiety, but rather someone who understands that there is an effective strategy that works for me and only me, and no matter how strange or obtuse, whether or not your backlog is games, movies, or projects. In time, you could find the strategy or a different perspective to help you accomplish and battle your backlog. Play as Samus Aran, not Metroid. Why can't Metroid crawl? A lone bounty hunter, hired by the Galactic Federation to penetrate the pirates' base of operations on planet Zebs and destroy Mother Brain, the AI mechanical lifeform that controls the space pirates' fortress and its defenses. At first, I played the NES one on my classic system, but got lost a lot and the password system seemed overwhelming. And back then, in those days, before everyone had a computer, internet, and streaming video, if you missed a letter and writing down a password, it was pretty much back to the start for you, which created a type of complex in me that I want to overcome. I believe it may have got me hooked on the idea, on the potential of starting a new game, that is, the anxiety glitch demon I must overcome. Somehow I got it in my head where if I don't complete the game perfectly or as it was intended, then I miss out on a very profound experience, which in all reality is not the truth, far from it. It's okay to just beat a game. It's okay to play through parts that you don't like. It's okay to just enjoy just the experience as an experience, because some things I didn't particularly like about the game, but behind a few levels there were some things I absolutely loved. I didn't have anyone to help me find spiritual or mental guidance. Have you tried getting over it by trying more? Or have you tried ignoring it? And the people who also had similar issues like me had a bit of a hard time conveying their feelings as well. But looking back at it now, I could use this backlog premise to help people who have similar problems deep within their subconscious, and let them know that you don't have to collect every treasure chest, and you don't have to get every single secret item to make it feel like it was worth the journey. Now with the internet bringing anxieties and other similar processing abilities to the forefront, brain glitches, it contrasts in the way that our modern world works, and now the ideas and cultures of the past. There are some commonalities that is shared with people with those with similar brain structure as me. I have clinical ADHD and anxiety issues. It's the idea of a social or God-intended way to experience something. I noticed from the people that have a lot of very critical families or expectations, it creates a subconscious feeling that if you don't experience the game in its 100% entirety, then the brain glitches itself with anxiety and expectation. So what does that mean about games and Metroid? Some examples of the perfection anxiety include You gotta catch them all, or you must grab all the Chaos Emeralds. You have to collect all of the MacGuffin, or your experience is incomplete, and your brain glitches out saying overwhelming things, and this raw feeling that fills you with dread and anxiety that you just can't completely isolate. For 10 years, I got stuck on the part of finding Kraid's lair. I got burnt out and I gave up. But now I can say the reality was I couldn't admit to myself I was giving up. But here's the part I understand was the most important part. I couldn't admit to myself I was frustrated and losing morale or motivation. It turns out, even if you lack the words or don't have the means to express yourself, the subconscious will find a way to manifest. When I tried to focus on Metroid, my body would naturally gravitate to other things, almost to the point I would forget all about it altogether. In 10 years, I wouldn't touch it. But now with the research and new abilities to articulate myself, it was as if my own body was possessing me, physically shutting me down, whether it was a die-hard wave of sleep or a natural flash to other pursuits. Anxiety and overall emotions distracted me from doing what I had to do, as if naturally. And by the time I realized it, days and weeks and even years have gone by. I realized I wasn't trying to prevent me from being uncomfortable. I was trying to protect the identity in myself. Anxiety is an ironic and funny concept, making would-be a simple walk in the park a dread-filled journey. These chemicals in my brain fire up before you even have a chance to realize it. Turns out the right path 15 years ago was underneath some lava. I could see why nobody found these bad guys, because who in their right mind would look underneath some lava? It hurt me to use a guide. I had to get over my shame in using a guide, but I shouldn't focus on my negatives, or I'll spend a lifetime overlooking my positives. Now, how do I end this first battle of the backlog? What I've learned from this experience, the way that my brain is structured, I hope to give hope for the people like me whose brains are structured differently. And for everyone else, a different perspective to work with and add to your mental toolbox, whether helping yourself or others. As much as my heart, brain, and body reject certain stimuli that I still don't have full control over, I'm hoping by going through my backlog, I'll be able to find the answers to my subconscious and isolate it. By keeping a detailed account, I'm happy what I've learned in these games, on top of my 15 years of therapy, but there's something deep inside my soul or spirit that I may have to discover on my own, as if my body is just two souls fighting at war with each other. But by tackling the forces in Metroid, I've gained some experiences. Number 1, to learn to explore the alien wilderness, and it's okay to admit that you're overwhelmed. Number 2, learn after a while, even the greatest of labyrinths can feel like home after enough time. Number 3, grab all the resources you can for the goal, but don't let it overburden you. If it means losing your momentum, it's better to get efficient with a bunch of small amount of resources and items that you use in a small circuit than to be overwhelmed with a sheer huge amount of tools and have a whole baggage full at the end of your journey, never being used once. Thank you so much for watching and sharing my experience with you guys. It's been a very difficult road to understand myself and how my brain works. And I'm hoping if you guys can leave comments about similar stories, or maybe stories you have with someone else, or maybe the differences in your own path. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I hope your goals and your dreams will be accomplished in the way that you want to. Thank you. This is Faristhewanderer.